The rain came down yesterday in buckets, but today was a dry day in the land of the rising sun. Max Verstappen once again claimed pole position with Leclerc in second and Sainz in third. The track proved to be particularly difficult as some drivers struggled with the curves of Suzuka, while others showed their pace on this old school circuit. This session also saw the closest battle for pole position this year. So hello and welcome to Fervent Motorsports. Today we are going to take you through the qualifying session at Suzuka. Now this has been consistent with what has been happening all season long. While their cars look competitive in Singapore, at the flowing Japanese circuit, the cars look to be slow by Mercedes standard. They made it to Q3, which is not something that a lot of teams can say. But for Mercedes, their car is slow. The Mercedes qualified in 6th and 8th with Fernando Alonso splitting the pair and Esteban Ocon ahead of the pair. In Q1, the Mercedes team surprised the entire grid by choosing to run on the medium tyres, while everyone else was on the soft tyres. Another interesting statistic is that the Mercedes cars completed the most amount of laps, with Hamilton finishing 20 and Russell finishing 19. In comparison, the Ferraris and Max Verstappen did only 13 laps. Sebastian Vettel looked to be enjoying himself in Japan. The fans love him there and he has won the World Championship on the very same track. Urged on by the fans, Vettel managed to put his car into Q3 and he will start the race in 9th position tomorrow. It was a proper shootout towards the end of qualifying, with Verstappen and Leclerc going for each other. In the end, it was separated by just 10 milliseconds. Now to put that into perspective, we take about 100 to 400 milliseconds to blink. And here the top two drivers were separated by a time faster than you can blink your eye. Blink and you'll miss it. This was certainly the case with Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. Verstappen seemed to be driving his car slowly into 130R and momentarily lost control of his car. Lando went off track and managed to save it, sort of like Kobayashi did on the same part of the track many years ago. Now Verstappen was summoned to the stewards and if they found him guilty he could lose his pole position. However, he was just hit with a reprimand. This is like a formal warning similar to the ones that school teachers would give you to take home and get signed. More importantly, Verstappen will keep his pole position in Japan. The stewards noted that, regarding the penalty, all previous breaches of this nature have resulted in a reprimand. Hence, a similar penalty is imposed in this case. And here's how the final grid looks like. In 20th and last, you have Nicholas Latifi, who will be facing a 5-place grid penalty for his crash in Singapore. In 19th, you have Lance Stroll of Aston Martin. In 18th, you have Kevin Magnussen. In 17th, Pierre Gasly suffered a brake issue and he was frustrated with AlphaTauri. You have Alex Albon of Williams in 16th. After a heavy crash on Friday, Mick Schumacher made it to Q2 ahead of his teammate. He will start in 15th. In 14th, you have Zhou Guan Yu. In 13th, you have hometown hero Yuki Tsunoda. In 12th, there's Valtteri Bottas. In 11th, you have Daniel Ricciardo, who looks to be having a great weekend. In 10th, you have Lando Norris. Sebastian Vettel put in a great few laps to start in P9. In 8th, you have George Russell. Fernando Alonso sits in 7th. Lewis Hamilton sits in 6th. Esteban Ocon qualified ahead of Alonso and both of the Mercedes cars as well in 5th. Sergio Perez could not find the pace to match his Singapore victory, he starts in 4th. Carlos Sainz starts in 3rd, Leclerc came out 2nd by the finest of margins. And Max Verstappen will start the race in pole position. If he wins the race and sets the fastest lap on Sunday, he could be the champion of the world. So thank you for watching this video by us here at Fervent Motorsports. Stay tuned as we uncover everything else from the Japanese Grand Prix.